What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Humble Actor, and today we got the first figures here from this VHS series for the Spider-Man series, which I'm actually very excited to check out. And I do have the Doc Ock and Aunt May set, but I am going to review this figure today. So in today's video, what we're going to do is, of course, to check out the figure, go through the articulation, and of course the accessories, and of course do some comparisons at the end of the video. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off here with the packaging. So this is how it actually looks like. Very nice. I got to admit, if you're going to do this kind of windowless packaging, I think this one here works. But again, with all like the other windowless packaging, you do not know what you're getting inside. But I do like this kind of style. Very nostalgic, very 90s, I would say. And yes, as a kid growing up, I gotta say I really like this whole style. You have 1, 2 here. Spider-Man and Carnage, the symbiote Spider-Man Carnage. We have the product image on the back here, some more cartoon artwork, and a very nice cartoon design at the front. And just for a comparison, this is how the VHS for the X-Men series looks. So it's very similar in terms of the height, but of course in terms of the width, it's actually about half of the size of this, as you would expect. And yes, without that being said, now let's just open this bad boy up. Alright, so here we have both of these two figures over here, and what we are going to do is, of course, check out one figure at a time, because I gotta say both of them look really good, and they do need their own time alone. And of course we're going to check out each of them one by one. Alright, so we're gonna start off here with Carnage. Again, I gotta say he looks really cool for this kind of thing. He doesn't use a new body mold whatsoever. This one does follow with the, if not mistaken, the Carnage Priest, or if not mistaken, that kind of style that came from the Venom Pool, if not mistaken, that buff. But in terms of accessories here, we do have quite a good number here. We have the back piece here to attach to his back, which looks really nice. We have this weapon piece here looking really cool as well, that did come before, and this one does go to his right hand. And we have the left hand here, which we have seen multiple times before in previous Carnage iterations. And one of the best head sculpts over there for Carnage, Cletus Classity over here, looking very insane, very medical. And I gotta say, he looks so good. That face here looks so nice. I think the details on this is amazing. And I feel like his eyes is a little bit off, and his teeth and all that, but it does suit a lot for his character. So what I mean by that is that, if you just use all of these accessories here, you can see there's a port on his back here. So you can just attach it whatever way you like. You can put it to the side, you can put it wherever you want, because it doesn't really restrict you in that motion. And if you want to take out the hands, you can do so. So this one here goes to his right hand. Really nice. And I think this was seen in another Carnage figure that we've gotten previously, also with the head. I did not have that one, but what I'm going to do right now is to take out other Carnage figures that I've gotten from my collection. So we have 3 Carnage figures over here. So you can see it's like very similar to this in terms of the design. Of course, the red here is more kind of uniform and more apparent. And of course, this one does use a newer body mold, which we can see on this Venom figure. So I got this wrong. This one is from the Monster Venom set, not the Venom Pool one. If not, sorry, this is from the Venom Pool. And I think the Monster Venom one had another similar body mold to this. So that one, I don't have it, but you can see it does follow the same one. It does use the Sunfire body mold, the Spider-Man 2099, which I am not complaining, because it does have a good body mold. It does give you good articulation. So looking at this figure, you can see that the head looks very nice here. And again, very similar in terms of the design from the previous one, which came out many years ago. I think this was the first wave from the Amazing Spider-Man set, which looks amazing, but it's very wobbly nowadays. And here, I gotta say, the paint work on this looks really nice. No real sculpting on him in terms of the black artwork here. But of course, if we go to the tendrils and all that, you can see amazing amount of details here on his arms as well. You can see it's again very similar to the previous ones, which we have gotten here. So on his legs there's nothing, which is quite disappointing because the rest of them did have it, and this one here doesn't have. And on the hands you can see that all the hands here very plain Joe, whereas on the previous one had more design on his hands here, which is again very disappointing for that, seeing that this is a very expensive figure coming in at about $53.99, so it's about 27 bucks for a figure. And I do like the weapons that comes with him, which you would get from the other one, the Monster Venom, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, this one here looks really nice as well, good extension to it. I do appreciate that, but the joints does look a little bit warped for my liking here. Does look a bit loose. You do have good amount of details, and I think the main attraction here is the head, which looks amazing. So I'm gonna put this all to the side. What we're gonna do right now is go through the articulation on him. So in terms of the head movement, he does use a disc joint, so he's able to look up here, so amazing amount of poses here. And of course you can tilt down all the way this much. There isn't any articulated jaw on him, which is quite disappointing. You can of course rotate it as much as you want. You do have a little bit of some hinge work here. And going on to the shoulders, you can get a nice, I would assume, good T-pose here. Not too bad. You do have your butterfly joint, so it's able to shift in and of course shift back out, and you can rotate it as much as you want without any hindrances. You have your bicep swivel, double jointed pin knees, pin elbows here, which goes back quite a fair bit amount. And of course for the hands, you have a nice hinge mechanism rotation and a hinge up and down. Going on to the torso, you can crunch forward this much, and of course you can crunch backwards this much here. You do have your nice waist rotation, and the legs can go out quite a fair bit amount here. And you can of course kick forward quite nicely here, as you would from this body mold. And you do have your upper tight swivel, you have your double jointed knees, which are pinned, so that's very disappointing. And you do have your calf rotation on him over here, which is a little bit tight. You can do that. Of course, excellent ankle pivot. And next up we have the Symbiote Spider-Man over here with some cell shading, which some people may like it, some people may not like it. Initially, when I was looking at the video renders and all that image on Hasbro Pulse, I thought it looked really cool, but having it in hand, it's a bit of a mixed bag. And one thing I gotta say, what I like about this is definitely the fact that it does use a very new body mold. In terms of accessories, there isn't much to it, so if we just want to take it out from the back, we have the standard hands over here, no other accessories or any extra head that comes with it. We haven't really seen a symbiote Peter Parker head, which we did see from the Craven 2 bag. So we have a pair of the wall crawling hands, the twip hands, and also the fisted hands. So very standard. It does have the rectangular white thing on him here where he shoots out his web. So again, depends on how you're going to take it. Sometimes people may use it as he's taking the suit. Some of them is he is having this symbiote on him. So gotta say, the body here is really nice, which we have seen before. This is of course the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body mold, so you do know what to expect. You get your pinless joints all around. Of course, you have your articulated toes, which is one of the main thing about the Renew Your Vows, and some people may say that is the best body mold. For me, to be honest, I think that the Amazing Fantasy does have the better body mold because it does use the disc joint for the head. This one still uses the dumbbell joint, which is not a really big thing for me, but it is what it is. And just having a closer look at him, you can see that the face on this looks really nice. And I'm going to bring out the other Symbiote Spider-Man, which we did have from I think last year or so, which was one of the hottest figure here. So you can see that the heads are very similar, probably the same thing on him, but we do have the blue mark on his head here to give him that kind of angry look, which this one's more natural, more neutral. And you can see that the paint work on his body as well is very similar. I think exactly the same as you can see from the chest here as well, where the legs of the spider goes, it goes exactly the same. You do have like a black shadow on this part here, which of course you're not going to get on this. And of course you have your blue shading kind of thing all around. This is still one of my favorite figures for Symbiote Spider-Man as far as it goes for my liking, which I think is still good. But this one here, pinless joints, you can't go wrong with it, which of course is really nice. And you have your blues on one side, so it's a bit weird because you don't know where that the light source is coming through, as with the cel-shaded Spider-Man, the cel-shaded animated one, which we've gotten before. So this one sometimes is on the tie, this one's at the side of the tie. Most of the time you can see from the artwork here, it's like located more on the side. So yeah, it's not really consistent with how the cel shading is on all the figures. But like I say, it looks really nice and decent here. And you can put him, of course, in some dynamic posing. And this suit is black at the end of the day, so you can just kind of paint it all around here if you do not want the blue cel shading. And we're going to go through articulation, which we have seen before. So in terms of the head movement, it can go all the way up this much here. It's not too bad, but not too great either. And downwards movement, not a lot as well, but it does give you a very nice hinge mechanism here. And of course, you can rotate it as much as you want. Going on to the arms, you can, of course, go have a nice T-pose here. Very, very nice. And you do have your butterfly joints, which you can shift in a little bit here, and of course backwards here. And you do have some nice rotation on the arms. You have some nice bicep swivel, pinless jointed elbows, so you can see it goes back quite a fair bit amount. Not too bad. Very big biceps here, and the hands as well, good amount of rotation and hinge up and down. And going on to the torso, you have your torso swivel here, and of course in terms of the movement, just the torso, upper torso can go forward this much, which is very nice, backwards here. And if you couple that with the lower crunch, you can go down here quite a fair bit amount. And of course it can go back here, which is amazing. And what I like about this is that if you go back, you can still see the hole here, but it's a black suit, so it's not very obvious as compared to the Gamerverse and the other Ben Riley Spider-Man. And going on to the legs, you can spread out very, very wide. It does have a drop down hinge here, which is really, really nice. And you do have your upper thigh swivel, pinless jointed knees, goes back a lot. And you have your calf rotation here, and also a toe hinge, which is the main feature for this kind of body mold, and a very, very excellent ankle pivot. Alright, and of course doing some comparisons here, starting with the Symbiote Spider-Man. We do have him next to the cel-shaded Astro animated Spider-Man, which I think this is one of my best figures out there. And of course we have the other two figures that are using the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. We have the Gamerverse, and we also have the Ben Riley Spider-Man. And I gotta say, all three of them, four of them, look really, really awesome. And of course here we have him next to some other retro series villains here. We have the Retro Lizard, one of the best figures. We also have the Shocker here as well. And I am going to put the Kraven the Hunter, which also just recently came out as well. Switching it now, I'm going to go on to the other villain, which is the Carnage figure from this wave. So this is basically how it all looks like, and so far it actually looks pretty decent. I do like the very bright colors, the animated colors from this whole series here, but again the consistency with the cel shading is a little bit off. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't get it, and that is quite frustrating, especially if you guys are into a lot of your toy photography. So that is it with this 2-pack here of the Spider-Man and Carnage figure. And for a rating, individually I'm going to give a rating for Carnage. I'm going to give a nice solid 6.5 out of 10. I did wish that they could at least use a newer body mold, but I do like the accessories and the color. For the Symbiote Spider-Man, the black suit Spider-Man, I will give it also a nice 6.5 out of 10. I really like the new body mold. I do like the good amount of accessories in terms of the hands, but I did wish that the cel shading could be a little bit more improved. And for this whole set, I gotta say I'm gonna give this a nice 7 out of 10. I do like the whole packaging when it comes to this. But I do want to go on a rant a little bit over here, because this figure over here was initially supposed to come out in Malaysia without any much hassle, but Hasbro Pulse just recently announced that they will be coming to Asia and also especially here in Malaysia. So normally I get my figures from One Toy or My Toy Malaysia. If you guys are in KL, you can get it from there. But they decided, Hasbro Pulse decided to be douchebags and cut off their supplies to them. So I had to actually find this outsourced from third-party websites and get it overseas, which was quite annoying because sometimes you don't know about the packaging and all that, and you don't really get good discounts. So if you're in from Malaysia and you get your Marvel stuff, you can get it from, like I mentioned, One Toy or My Toy. And I just wish that, you know, they could at least do a little bit better and treat their supplies better and not be those company douchebags. But other than that, I gotta say I like these figures and I do like this whole set a lot. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this whole video and about these two figures as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash that subscribe button down below, and of course do follow me on my Instagram at the Hammer Lecter. I'll see you guys in the next one.